Fresh dill smells and tastes amazing. The beneficial insects love it too. Best part, it's easy to grow. Learn how with the tips in this video. I'm Angela from Growing in the Garden. My garden's in Mesa, Arizona. I want to help you succeed even if you're gardening in tough conditions. First, a little bit about dill. It's a biennial, but it often flowers and sets seed its first year, so it's usually grown as an annual. Dill is in the carrot family, and it's hard to tell here where the dill ends and the carrots begin. Cilantro's in the same family, and all the members are characterized by these beautiful umbel flowers that the pollinators love. Dill is a cool season herb and doesn't like it too hot. If you live in a cold winter climate, plant outside a couple of weeks before your last frost date. In mild winter, hot summer climates, it grows best during the cooler temperatures of fall and early spring. In the low desert of Arizona, plant from October through January. No matter where you live, succession plant dill every 3 weeks for a continual harvest. Dill has a long taproot, so it's best to plant from seeds. Plant seeds about 1/4 of an inch deep, and I like to plant 1 per square. I'm going to keep this area hydrated until those seeds sprout. Adding a thin layer of mulch can help hold in that moisture. Remember that dill has a long taproot that doesn't like to be disturbed. If you use transplants, look for young, small transplants and plant them carefully to avoid causing the plant to bolt. Plan on dill growing about 3 or 4 feet tall, but look at this one. I'm almost 6 feet tall and it's way taller than I am. Choose a location to plant dill with rich, well-draining soil. Amend with compost before planting. You can plant dill throughout your garden. It can grow in full sun or partial shade. With plenty of sun, dill grows strong enough to support itself. But if you're growing in partial shade, you may need to provide support. Dill grows well in a container. Choose one that's at least 12 inches deep to accommodate that taproot. Dill likes plenty of moisture. A nice thick layer of mulch will help keep the plant happy. Dill will tell you if its needs aren't being met. Burnt tips mean too much sunlight or not enough moisture. Yellow undergrowth means too much water. Back off a little bit on the watering. Aphids are a common pest that affects dill. Pick off the worst affected leaves or wait for the beneficials to come and help you out. Powdery mildew can also affect the leaves. Give plants plenty of room and airflow to help with this. Dill is grown for 2 things: the fern-like foliage that's often called dillweed, and the delicious seeds that form after those umbel flowers. Begin harvesting when it has at least 4 to 5 fronds. Snip off the central portion of each leaf, not the outer leaves. This encourages a fuller plant and can prevent bolting. Because dill doesn't grow well here when it gets hot, I really enjoy having it fresh from the garden. The flavor just isn't the same when it's dehydrated or dried. You can get a similar flavor if you freeze it or freeze dry it, but it's not quite the same as fresh. This dill is starting to bolt and forming that tall flower stalk. Sometimes you can delay bolting by coming in and snipping off that central flower stem. When dill bolts, it forms a tall stalk and umbel flowers. Each one of those flowers becomes a dill seed. The best time to harvest those seeds is once they're fully developed on the plant and begin to turn brown. These seeds aren't quite ready, so I'm not going to harvest yet. Once it's time to harvest, cut at the base of the stalk and put the seed head upside down in a paper sack. The ripe seeds will fall to the bottom of the sack. Harvest the seed heads before they're fully ripe and begin dropping and reseeding in your garden. When it's growing, don't forget to use it. I love using dill, of course, in pickles, but it's also delicious on fish, eggs, salad dressing, and sauces. You'll find lots of ways to use it in the kitchen. Dill is delicious, but I don't grow it for the taste alone. I plant it throughout my garden and don't mind when it bolts because of the wildlife it attracts. Dill flower umbels are nectar rich and feed numerous beneficial pollinators. You can usually find all stages of ladybugs and many other beneficial insects on flowering dill. Dill is frequently a larval host plant for butterflies, including Arizona's state butterfly, the two-tailed swallowtail. The larvae can often be seen enjoying dill plants. Lesser goldfinch love to eat the seeds, And these birds also love to eat other pests, so I leave the seeds for the birds. It's hard to pick a favorite herb, but dill is definitely at the top of my list. I think you should grow it too.